Good Friday morning, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day, wherever you are. My name is Mysticle, and in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. And today's video is packed with a bunch of information that I know quite a few of you have been waiting for. We have more information on the Quest 3, so that and a lot more coming up. Let's jump right into the video. So first things first, let's hop right into that Quest 3. For those of you that didn't watch one of my previous videos, here's a refresher of the leaks that we have right now of what it's going to look like. These were made by Marcus Kane in collaboration with Sadly It's Bradley. And for those of you that don't know, they've made some pretty damn accurate renders and leaks in the past. So I am basically forced to believe that this is what the new headset is going to look like. And just a word of warning for basically everyone that was super worried about that headphone jack and charging port being on the headband hinge itself. Don't worry, looking at the renders a little bit closer, it looks like there's an actual cutout in the band part of the, let me show you. It looks like there's a little cutout in the headband itself. So to explain that a little bit further, if you take a look at this headband right here, this pops off. It looks like there's a circular hole of sorts in this part, and the charging port itself is in this part, meaning third-party accessories will not be a problem because all they have to do is make a little hole here, no pass-through or wiring needed. That's some good news for you right there in case you were worried that there would be no pass-through and no third-party accessories. I'm going to give you guys a refresher on the price tag first, as I know that's something a lot of you are interested in, and yes, we do actually have a rough price tag. That price tag is going to be in the $300, $400, or $500 zone, and this was actually told us by Mark Zuckerberg himself. So this is not like unofficial leaks or unofficial information. This is coming from the Zuck himself, so, you know, just saying. However, Meta has also now given us more information. So to quote, later this year, we're going to launch our next generation consumer headset, which will feature Meta Reality as well. MR, mixed reality. I don't know why they had to go ahead and call it Meta Reality, but okay. CEO Mark Zuckerberg told investors in an earnings call earlier yesterday. Given the Quest 2 is the current consumer headset, Zuckerberg is almost certainly referring to the Quest 3. And he did say consumer headset. So this isn't going to be aimed towards companies or industries or anything like that. This is going to be a consumer headset. And we now have confirmation that it's also going to feature MR, mixed reality. Meta Reality is Meta's name for the color real-world pass-through technology introduced in the Quest Pro. Looking at the leaks that we have from Sadly It's Bradley, this really doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, we've got 3 cameras in the front, which some people think look ugly, but I think look rather futuristic. I mean, how it's going to look on your face is going to be an entirely different story. So now with confirmation that the headset is coming both later this year, is going to have mixed reality, and will not be more than $500, I think that is some pretty good news. We also know that it's going to be sporting LCD panels instead of OLED ones, which some people are happy about and others aren't, as well as pancake lenses and 120 Hz. Oh yeah, and apparently a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 CPU, so it should have more power than the Quest 2. A lot of people are very excited for this headset, myself included, and I can't wait to see what Meta is going to show us during this year's Connect event. And even though we know pretty much everything about it, it's looking to be very exciting, and depending on the games and apps they release for it, it might genuinely be worth an upgrade, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Meta has had a revenue rebound. If you guys aren't sure or don't know, Meta was going downhill for quite some time in the revenue graph. However, Meta's Reality Labs revenue rebounded in Q4 of 2022, but was still less than Q4 of 2021 due to lower Quest 2 sales. I mean, this is pretty obvious, which is why a lot of people, including myself, are hoping the Quest 3 will pick up that market once again. Since a lot of people didn't go for the Quest 2, they didn't think it was enough of an upgrade from the Quest 1, or even thought that it was a downgrade. And a lot of people just didn't want to buy hardware that they didn't exactly call next gen. Some people were waiting for the Quest 3, and others are even waiting for the Quest 4. So I guess, dependent on how many of those people there are, hopefully we'll see a kickback up in people in VR when the Quest 3 releases. However, I do not think that the Quest 3 is going to be as popular as the Quest 2, as a lot of people already have the Quest 2 and also won't want to upgrade and will be waiting for the Quest 4. So I guess you can kind of see what's happening there right now. Reality Labs is the division of Meta behind the Quest, smart glasses, Meta avatars, the Horizon platform, platform and research and development towards future devices such as the Neural Wristband project and AR glasses. The division brought in $727 million in revenue in Q4 of 2022. While that's down 17% year over year, it's a lot less of a drop than Q3 of 2022, which was down roughly 50% year over year. Q3 of 2022 saw the lowest revenue since Meta started breaking out Reality Labs financials, while Q4 of 2022 was the second highest ever. You know, I think I know exactly why this happened. People didn't buy in Q3 as they were waiting for Meta to release a new headset, and when Meta didn't release that headset, they either completely just did not buy or were waiting until Q4 to see if anything new would be released. In Q4, of course, December came around, Christmas was happening, and when people noticed that Meta wasn't releasing a new headset this year, they went ahead and bought the Quest 2. So I can kind of see why that would happen, but it's interesting to see how big of a rebound that was. Sure, it's still less than year over year, but it is the second highest ever. Here is one very exciting piece of news. Samsung is going to develop new XR hardware in partnership with Qualcomm and Google. Those are three massive companies. In case you don't know, Qualcomm is the maker behind the Snapdragon chips inside basically all standalone headsets right now. Samsung, the creators of the original Gear VR, and Google, the creators of the Google Cardboard. That's pretty hilarious, to be honest, if you think about it. It's all the OGs together. I think that's pretty funny. During today's Samsung Unlocked event, Samsung announced plans to create a new extended reality hardware in partnership with Google and Qualcomm. This new XR platform was far from the main focus of the event, which was centered around the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra phone, of course, and other hardware announcements. The company's revived interest in the VR and AR market was only briefly mentioned on stage during the keynote. So to quote, "We're also collaborating to bring the next generation experiences to other Galaxy products, including laptops, tablets, XR, and more. And in XR, we're working to create a new era of highly immersive digital experiences that blur the lines between our physical and digital worlds. With our Snapdragon XR technology, along with Samsung's amazing products and Google's experiences, we have the foundation to make these opportunities of reality and drive the future of spatial internet." In case you guys want to read the full article, I'm going to leave a link to it down below. I can't help but feel like this is a massive rebound. Samsung has finally taken another look at virtual reality after they noticed that the market was growing, as well as, of course, Google, which I didn't think would be rebounding after the Daydream, as that wasn't a massive success. But it is interesting to see that all these massive companies are now going together, and again, they're kind of the OGs, so it's also nice to see at the same time. With that being said, 2023 is looking like an exciting year for virtual and augmented reality, and 2024 might be looking even better, depending on what these companies come up with. With that being said, next piece of news. John Carmack has doubts as to whether the PSVR 2 will succeed. It looks like he's mostly sharing the same doubts that I am, but let me read you his tweets on Twitter. I mean, where else would he be tweeting? "I don't expect the PSVR 2 to be very successful at $600, but technically, with a directly connected OLED display and decent ray tracing performance, it is an opportunity to implement just-in-time ray tracing for couple millisecond 6-DoF motion to photons latency, which I would really like to see. That would be a VR compositor replacement, and the sensor/display/GPU timings would be really tight, so a third-party developer could not do it, but it would be a worthy task for Sony." Yeah, it looks like the kind of main issue he has with it is the price tag, which I do as well. $600 for the HMD, plus the fact that you already need to own a PlayStation 5. I don't own a PlayStation 5, which is the reason I haven't bought a PSVR 2 yet. I know I'm going to be missing out. It looks like a fantastic piece of tech, but it is also a lot of money. And there's no denying that. And I don't really play a lot of console games, so I don't see the point of myself buying a PlayStation 5 just to play the PSVR 2, if you get what I'm trying to say. Unless I, of course, got into console games, then we'd have a different story. I'm not saying the PlayStation 5 is bad in any way. I'm just saying that for people like myself that only want the PlayStation VR 2 aspect, I don't know how much sense it truly makes. But I think for the technology, it's really not that bad, considering other headsets are a lot more. And finally, we're going to take a look at something that might not interest all of you, but I find it quite interesting. I'm not sure how many of you know, but Meta has been battling for the Within acquisition for quite some time now. However, Meta is now one step closer to completing that Supernatural acquisition. This week, Meta Platforms made it one step closer to successfully acquiring Within, the studio behind fitness service is supernatural, according to a report by Bloomberg. Now, I know that this is controversial, and I also do not agree with Meta acquiring all of these studios. A lot of you are going to say it's good. A lot of you are going to say that Meta gives them extra money and gives them the power that they need in order to create better titles. Others are going to say it's monopolization. I think Meta is taking over all of these studios, and then these studios are forced to do basically whatever Meta wants. And I don't think that's good. I don't think all game studios, I don't think all games, and I don't think all platforms should be owned by a single company. That is completely ruining competition. I mean, if Meta owns a game studio, they get to choose whether they want to port that game or app to a different platform, which usually they don't do. But it looks like they are one step closer. The United States Federal Trade Commission's effort to block the deal hit a snag, with Bloomberg reporting that U.S. District Judge Edward Davila delivered a sealed decision that denied the FTC's request for a preliminary injunction to block the proposed transaction, while the FTC pursues a separate case in its in-house court. The FTC has been investigating Meta's competitive practices and first opened an antitrust probe into the Within acquisition in late 2021. So it's certainly been a while, but it looks like they are one step closer. And with that being said, we are going to end today's video. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please do leave a like. It helps the channel out, and it costs you nothing. However, if you disliked it, I guess this button does work too, but let me know why down in the comment section below. Thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys help me out a ton, paying my bills, paying my subscriptions, and helping me make these videos better. So thank you so much. If you guys are not yet part of the community, check out the Discord and check out the Reddit down below. I want to see you posting your spice memes on there. And as usual, if you want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.